Hey everybody! Thank you so much for coming to see the Jane Austen Book Club. I just want to say this novel has been a favorite of mine since I first read it when I was in high school in 2005, if that tells you how old I am. And I just wanted to give a special thank you to Katie Grinch and Karen Joy Fowler herself for giving us special permission to do this show. I have always wanted to see this put on now and check it out or buy it at a bookstore, because Karen Joy's look into the lives of these people is enlightening, to say the least. Yeah. Hello, hello! Sorry about that. It was a recorded curtain speech from the first night of opening. I wanted to give you guys a couple more seconds to log in. So here we are, Jane Austen Book Club, night number 3. I just wanted to take a minute to say hey to everybody, and thank you so much for logging on to check us out. This, as you already heard, this novel has been a favorite of mine since I saw it first in 2005, and I was in high school at the time, and Karen Joy Fowler has always been a favorite author of mine, and I have been so honored that she let me take her script and meld it the way that I have. It's been amazing. And so I just wanted to talk for a minute about what you're going to expect tonight. At some point, we may experience some technical difficulties, some glitches, as you have already probably seen. If that happens, there will be a special screen that will come up, and please just bear with us. It shouldn't last long. It'll say technical difficulties on it, and then we'll be back to regular programming ASAP. As the title states here at coLABoration Theater, everything we do is a group effort. The show has gone through cast changes, script changes, so many rewrites. We were rewriting up until our last rehearsal on Wednesday. And there's still more to come. When we do this show live in September, there will be even more changes, and you guys are a big part of that. Audience participation is the last step in the coLABoration effort. And we would like to hear from you. So tell us on our Facebook the things that you like, the things that you don't like about this show. Feel free to live tweet. We love that. We've had a couple people do that the last couple nights, and it's been hysterical. But this is a brand new type of theater that we're seeing now because of the pandemic. We're on the cusp of something brand new. Everybody from Broadway to somebody who's trying to do their own thing on YouTube is having to live stream their performances now. So we are all part of history in the making, and we are so glad that you decided to do this with us. Let me give a shout out to some of our donors. If you donated $40 or more, we are shouting you out at the top of every show. So tonight's donors are Jonathan Rogers and Eric Ju, and thank you guys so much for your donations. All of the proceeds for this go to pay the actors and the crew who made this possible and help us find a venue and pay for a venue when we do this in September. So I can't stress that enough. Come back and check us out in September when we do this live. There are going to be moments that you can tell do not belong on a screen. They belong in person, and you're going to see them so much better then. So check us out then too. This show runs 2 hours and 20 minutes with a 10-minute intermission. So when the intermission screen comes up, when you see this nice little curtain again, don't go away. There's still more to come. Check out some of our other projects that we're doing. The next upcoming show is another original called The Flight of Catherine Fletcher, written by one of the actresses in this show, actually. And we're really excited about this. It takes place in the same time period as the Newsies, and it's about a woman who meets with a little bit of trouble when she's in her youth, and she runs away to a new city and becomes a respectable businesswoman who helps orphans. And then later on, her past comes back to haunt her. So look forward to that. We will be doing that probably sometime in October, November, or in early January. So now for the announcement portion, we're going to try to make this as much like being in a live theater as possible. If in the event of a fire in your own home, please use the emergency exits. They will probably not be illuminated with an emergency exit sign unless you live in like a school or a hospital or something. And if you do, no judgment. I'm not sure what the rules are about where you're located right now, but smoking may or may not be allowed. You might want to ask the person whose home you're in to find out if you're allowed to do that. And last but not least, this may be one of the only live theater events where you can keep your cell phones on. You do not have to silence your cell phones. However, there is no recording of this production because of our copyright situation. So please no recording. But I just want to give one more big shout out to everybody who's made this possible, particularly Karen Joy, and thank you so much for trusting us with your material. And with that being said, I'm going to turn this over to the cast and crew of the Jane Austen Book Club. Enjoy.
Sorry I'm late. The library stuck me in that planning meeting today, and the designer just kept going on and on.
It's okay. I haven't been here long.
Did you come straight from Santa Monica? And how is Diego?
He's doing well. Kids are great. Sarah's great. They all send their love to Mama. So what was this planning meeting for?
Oh, the library's summer gala.
Well, that's a year and a half away, isn't it?
It's in May, but the sponsors wanted to start early this year. It's the library's 100th anniversary, and they asked me to chair it.
Well, that's great, isn't it? But will you have time for it?
Well, with Andy gone on that internship and Allegra finally off to school this year, I can't imagine I'll have much else to occupy my time.
But didn't Jocelyn say something about a book club you two were starting?
Ah, yes. Jocelyn and her book club.
Ma'am, a drink?
Oh, a glass of your Sauvignon Blanc, please.
Yes, ma'am. And another glass of Dom Perignon, sir?
Actually, could you bring the bottle?
Very good, sir.
Champagne? Are we toasting something?
Yes. To happiness, I suppose.
Okay. I'll bite.
Do you remember a few months ago when I asked you if you were happy?
You mean when you woke me up in the middle of the night? Yes.
Are we ready to order?
I think we'll need a minute.
Yes, sir.
So
you said you were happy, and that's fantastic. I meant what I said about the kids. We've done well with the boys, with Allegra. We both have great jobs, great friends.
33 years together brings a lot of ups and downs. But I guess, all things considered, we've done pretty well.
Do you ever feel like maybe we started too young? I mean, we've been together since high school. I guess I just want to know, did you mean what you said?
About being happy? Yes. Why? Daniel, you're starting to scare me. Is everything okay?
I think it will be. Sylvia, I'd like a divorce.
Every story worth reading begins with a good foreword. Ask anyone literate and they'll tell you that.
So here's ours. And if you don't agree with it, you can keep it to yourself. Each of us has a private Austen. Maybe to you, her work is the pinnacle of romance. Or maybe some of you read her for her ironic prose. I happen to think she's a comic genius.
It's not like Shakespeare. His jokes make you laugh really just because he's Shakespeare, and you kind of owe him that.
Exactly.
But for those of you out there who are Jane Austen novices, never fear. Sometimes we just have to try something out in order to find what we like or don't like.
Anyway, I think we can all agree that it is essential to reintroduce Austen into our lives regularly. Let her look around and see what needs changing. Am I right? Okay, where should we begin?
I think Pride and Prejudice is a good middle ground. Who doesn't love a dishy Mr. Darcy? Am I right? Besides, it's my favorite.
And arguably the most well-known.
Seriously, guys, think of Sylvia's divorce. We're not subjecting her to the dishy Mr. Anything just yet. We'll start with Emma.
Why Emma?
Because nobody has ever read that book and wished to be married.
Sixth member may be a bit difficult, unless you know one offhand.
Actually, we may need a seventh. Mom and I are probably going to read our book together since I'll be moving back in.
Moving back in? Really?
Oh, sweetheart, that is so good of you. See, this is why people have children.
The only good reason.
Yeah, so when we leave the discussion at our house, I can do it if she isn't up for it. My mom and dad are getting a divorce.
Well, that's a pretty common thing these days. I only meant that you needn't feel alone in the situation. I'm so sorry to hear.
Oh, Prudy is no stranger to marital frustration.
Dean and I are fine, actually.
Who's Dean?
My husband.
You're married, but no ring?
It's on this hand. I'm a French teacher.
You teach a foreign language, so you wear your wedding ring on the wrong hand?
It's a European custom.
Well, that's fun.
Let me go check on Sylvia. I think she's finishing the tea.
I really hope we start soon. Are we waiting for something else?
I believe Jocelyn said she had a friend coming. A man. Personally, I was hoping we could just have women in this group. The dynamic changes with men. You know, they pontificate rather than communicate.
Ugh, mansplaining.
Exactly. They talk so much and share so little.
Well, I feel that men
can put a word in because women are too tentative to interrupt no matter how long. Someone drones on and on and on and on and on.
Actually, I tend to
men don't do book clubs. Women want to share, but men, they hoard what they read. If they can even be persuaded to crack open a book. Does your husband read?
He reads stuff online.
There you go. Let me tell you something, Fruity. I've been married 6 times, and every relationship is great at first, but it's how it feels in the end that matters. I'm thinking I'd like to be married again someday. Maybe one more time.
Ugh, men. You can have them.
Mm-hmm. You don't like men?
Not since my first and only boyfriend in high school. He wasn't bad, just not for me.
I see.
I take it you don't approve?
Oh, I didn't mean to offend. Well, as the only daughter of a woman who gave birth in a commune after doing who knows what kind of drugs, I have become accustomed to all sorts of alternative lifestyles.
Yeah. I don't think I'm doing this book club.
Sorry, everybody. The tea took a bit longer. Where are you going?
Mom can handle this meeting, and I'll jump back in when we get to our book discussion. She and I would like to read Sense and Sensibility together.
Oh, no, you don't. I'm not going to be your scapegoat for dipping out.
No, there will be no dipping out. We're all doing this together and everybody gets a book.
I just don't really like Jane Austen. All these poor women trapped in circumstances beyond their control. Where's the empowerment?
I was of the impression that this book club was going to be for serious Austen lovers. I cannot be part of a group that thinks that they are above the very author we're discussing.
Nonsense. No one here is above anything or anyone else. Prudy, which book would you like to be responsible for?
Well, Persuasion has recently caught my attention. I find myself drawn to its elegiac tone.
Come on, honey. Please stay for me.
Mom, that lady is going to drive me nuts. I don't want to say something that's going to offend anyone, but if she keeps talking like that, I will end up force-feeding her these muffins.
Just come sit down and we can see how it goes. If it's really terrible, I'll sub in for you on the next one. There's no way Jocelyn is going to let me leave.
But if Sylvia and Allegra are sharing a book, that leaves one left out. I've got Emma, and Bernadette has Pride and Prejudice. That leaves Northanger Abbey.
Can't we skip that one? It starts off with all those dances, and then suddenly ends up like Nightmare on Northanger Abbey Street.
And miss out on Mr. Tilney? Such a flirt.
Doing all 6 books is the raison d'etre for this book club and the only reason that I'm here. We can't skip one. If we need an extra person, I may be able to get one of my students to join.
Hey, everybody.
Greg, wow, you're here.
Yeah, sorry, I got a little lost on these roads up here. I'm still pretty new to the area. I finally saw the kennels and stopped because I remembered you said you were a dog breeder. The big one didn't seem too happy when I came up to the front door, though.
Oh, that's just Sahara. She'll be fine. She's used to being in charge around here. Everybody, this is Greg. Greg, this is Allegra and Prudy.
I'm Bernadette. So nice to see a man taking an interest in Miss Austen. I'm just sorry that you seem to be the only one.
Oh, that's okay. I grew up with 3 sisters, so I'm used to it. I'm eager to learn, though. I've never read anything by Jane Austen before.
And this is Sylvia.
Hello.
Hello.
What you got there?
Oh, well, I went to the bookstore to buy copies of the novels, and I saw this. I had no idea they were all sequels, so I figured it might be a good idea to keep them all together, you know, in case I have to go back and reference something. You said we were starting with Emma, but that's in the middle, so I'm just wondering.
We're doing Emma today. Did you read it?
Yeah, but
They're not
is it like
sequels.
Oh, well, I guess we can just start anywhere then. Jocelyn, you said there was someone you wanted me to meet?
Mr. Knightley.
Beg pardon?
Why isn't he more appealing? He has so many good qualities. Why don't I warm to him?
Because there's no heat with him. Where's the animal passion? Look at Frank Churchill and Jane Fairfax. They fight every time they meet. They keep secrets. They lie to everyone about their relationship, and you can tell they're in love because they behave so badly.
And that's good.
With Emma and Mr. Knightley, you just never feel the sex.
Still, I think Mr. Knightley may be my favorite of all the Austen men. He's the only one who seems desperately in love, like he needs it. He reminds me of my second husband, Marco. Such an earnest, well-meaning man. But that chemistry didn't work out, and neither does this one. No passion.
Sans passion l'amour n'est rien. That is one of Jane's favorite themes.
Jane.
Yikes.
What we're meant to see is not so much the lack of passion, but the control of it. See how her admirable characters don't give in? That's what separates them from the minor characters.
Après moi, le déluge. But Prudy is right. It's all in the novels. Sense and Sensibility, obviously. Oh, and Maria's infidelity in Mansfield Park.
I forgot about that. Glad I'm not doing that one.
But isn't the fact that physical attraction is so unpredictable one of the things we like most about it? The fact that love makes people crazy.
Yes.
But that does not excuse bad behavior.
But what are we calling bad? Something that is out of character or something that is against societal norm? Who gets to decide?
Allegra, whose side are you on here?
Now, hold on. I think we're all on the same side. We can all agree that Emma becomes decidedly less crazy after she marries Mr. Knightley, which means love in this book is an act of sanity, right? I also feel like Austen is trying very hard to convince us that Frank Churchill's behavior is acceptable. Too many people in this book would be hurt if he were as bad as their usual handsome, charming villain.
He's a complicated one for sure. I like that about him. He shouldn't flirt with Emma the way he does, but it's almost as if he knows she's safe from him somehow.
That's a big assumption, though. I mean, don't you think? You can't just know that.
He's not good like Knightley or bad like Elton.
One thing that I noticed was this overwhelming sense of menace. The gypsies, Jane Fairfax's boating incident, Mr. Woodhouse's constant worries.
Jane's entire thesis is that none of these things are real. Just look at Emma. She acts on the basis of her fantasies.
Yes, Greg. I'm afraid you've entirely missed the point.
You know, I've heard the plot of Emma, the humbling of a pretty know-it-all girl, is the most popular plot of all time. Robert Davies said this was the one story that everyone was bound to enjoy.
But seriously, this book has some horrific moments that you can't deny, like how Emma keeps forcing her friend Harriet on Mr. Elton, and then when she finds out who Harriet's father is, bam, she's lucky to get a farmer.
I think Jane was being ironic there. Some readers might miss that.
Emma is a snob.
Please, people are like dogs. They're instinctively drawn to those who mirror them in looks. The pretty marry the pretty, the ugly, to the detriment of the breed, in my opinion.
Jocelyn, you'd pair up the whole world yourself if you could, from dogs to people.
You put me together with Daniel in the first place. And it was such a good match. We had beautiful children and I'm sorry, everyone.
Well, I'm really sorry to do this, but my car isn't very reliable and the fog is rising, so.
I need to go too.
But Jocelyn, I brought some books for you. Remember how I told you about Ursula Le Guin, the science fiction writer?
Yeah, you know, it isn't necessary to bring a host gift to these things.
Oh, well, yeah, but I figured you might like it.
Thanks, Greg.
Science fiction reader, I certainly hope we didn't scare him off. You think he'll come back next time?
I'd rather him than her. So we can't be above the author, but we can be her BFF? And seriously, what era was she born in? Jane and I, we love a good theme.
Well, good evening, everyone. Guess we'll see what happens.
How are you doing?
I'll be okay. You know how Daniel used to drive me crazy? Well, I think I'm doing it all on my own now, or maybe it's Austen.
Was the book club a bad idea?
It's just that she has a way of making you forget that most marriages end in divorce. Did you know he is already talking to someone from his office?
No!
Yes. I had Allegra look her up.
What?
Her name is Pam, like the cooking spray.
Well, never using that brand again. She probably graduated from law school and went straight for Daniel.
No, she's not even young.
Do you think he has a brain tumor?
I think he fell in love.
Jury's still out on the brain tumor. People our age don't fall in love like that. I've never even been in love. For as long as you've been married, I've been happily unmarried.
Honestly, I just don't know what I'm going to do now. He can move on. He has options. He can sleep with 20-year-olds and people will applaud him. If I tried that.
Guys my age are lame, Mom.
Well, enough of all this. It's silly of me to make a fuss like this in front of everyone. It doesn't do anyone any good.
We'll see how it all pans out. Maybe it's just a phase.
No offense to your powers of matchmaking, Jocelyn, but I won't hold my breath.
I love your hair like that.
Thank you. Promise me I get the first dance tonight?
Oh, definitely. Oh, hold on.
Okay.
Hello?
Dad,
Hey, honey.
what are you doing?
Just helping out a friend with something. How about you?
Dad, really? Are you at Pam's house right now?
Yes. It's Allegra.
Hi, Allegra.
She says hi back.
I did not say hi back or anything like it. Dad, please come home. Mom is miserable and I really could use your help moving all this stuff and
Oh, ask her if she wants to come to dinner next week. I'll treat.
Honey, Pam wants to know if you'd
I
like
heard
to
her,
join
Dad.
us.
She's got to be like 2 feet from the phone. Did you hear me?
Yes, sweetheart. It's just not possible right now. I can come by with a truck and pick some things up after, but I don't think it would be a good time for me and your mother to see each other. It would just confuse things.
You mean it might make you realize what a mistake you're making?
Honey, I really can't talk about this right now. I'll call you tomorrow. I love you.
Dad, come on. Damn it! Oh, shit. Oh my God!
Check out Mandy's hair today. Isn't that like some kind of violation? Like professional distance or something?
I don't know. Miss Fry allows that on stage. Doesn't mean she's allowed to do that for classes. Has Mrs. B said anything to her about it?
I have no idea. It is weird, though. All you actors are just weird.
Actresses. And if you're the lead in this show, doesn't that make you an actor as well?
Only if I'm good.
Well, too early to tell, but I have a feeling you're going to be great. Welcome to the ranks of the weird.
Thanks. Hope I don't screw it up.
If you're really that worried, I could help you run lines after school.
My sister will be home after school, so it'd be better if we went back to your place.
Why can't we just go to Starbucks?
You know, so we can be alone. For concentration.
You two can't be taking in very much if you're talking throughout the entire film.
I can't have anyone over.
Why are you always so weirdly going to your house? You afraid of meeting your parents?
I just don't want to, okay? Now, leave me alone. I'm trying to concentrate.
Okay, yeah. No worries.
Mr. Norton, can I please see you un moment?
Look, I'm sorry. I didn't mean anything by it.
It's fine, Trey.
We have got to stop meeting like this.
You took the words right out of my mouth. What were you whispering to Lisa during the entire class period?
Well, I'll tell you a secret if you tell me one.
Cut it out, Trey. I'm your teacher, and I asked you a question. You may be doing fine in this class, but Lisa is struggling with her grades. And I've told you before that if you keep being disruptive, I'm going to...
Okay. Jeez, she needed help with her lines for the musical. Nothing nefarious.
That's a big word. Say it in French.
What?
Say it in French, and I won't make you write the paper I was going to assign to you about the book today. The film today.
Nefer Leon.
800 words due tomorrow before the bell.
Oh, come on.
Trey, you were warned plenty of times, and I want it on paper, no emailing it to me this time. My laptop's out of commission. I think it has a virus or something.
You know, you get those from watching too much porn.
That is not where it came from.
Sure, because you'd never do that. Gosh, writing about French just gets me so worked up. Every word I write just brings me closer to...
Stop.
Are you sure 600 words isn't too much of a risk?
You know what? Fine. 600 words. Half in French.
That's a really nice dress.
Ugh, you're still writing the paper.
Yeah,
And leave Lisa Straight alone.
Knock, knock.
Oh my god, hi.
Hey, how you feeling?
A little banged up, but better than it could have been. How about you? I'm so sorry about the accident again.
No, it was my bad, really. I pulled out of that neighborhood too fast. I came to apologize, actually.
No apology necessary. I should have been paying attention. Thanks for bringing me in last night and for making sure they didn't call my mom. She would have flipped out over nothing.
Well, I mean, a car accident isn't exactly nothing.
I guess not. You look pretty good. Did they already release you?
I was never admitted. They just checked me for whiplash. You got the worst of it. Why did they keep you overnight?
Scared of a concussion. I have a few bruised ribs and I got this from the airbag.
Wow. And you still look great.
Thanks. They picked a good cast. It goes with my skin tone.
Not what I meant.
I know.
So, are they releasing you?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we should go get you a new phone. You're gonna need it if I'm gonna give you my number. Allegra, was it?
Yeah. Sounds good.
Corinne.
Corinne.
Hey, baby.
Hi.
Sorry I missed you last night after your book club. I had to work late. How'd it go?
It was abysmal. I don't know what I was thinking joining in the first place. I really thought this was going to be about Austen, not just a bunch of oversharing with people who couldn't care less. I may just use our France trip as an excuse to drop out. The timing would be perfect. That would also solve the issue of my mother. She wants to visit next month, and I just don't think I can take it right now.
Come on!
Oh, Dean!
Sorry. These refs need to go. These plays are shit. I'm sorry, babe. You were saying.
I was saying my mother wants to come visit next month.
Well, that sounds like a good idea. You don't want to see her?
No, Dean. I never want to see her. That's why I'm saying it's good that we will be in France.
Oh, wait. I meant to tell you I can't go.
What?
My boss needs me to handle some business accounts in Seattle, and I have to go next month.
But Dean, we've had these tickets forever. You said we would finally get a honeymoon, and what will my students think? Going to France is the only way to perfect my accent. Anyone who speaks the language will tell you that.
Babe, it's fine. We can go next month. We can go in May or something.
Dean, I'm a teacher. God, pay attention. Do you know how busy I'm going to be in May? They just asked me to help with the school musical on top of everything else.
Prudy, I don't know what you want. I can't say no to my boss. I'm sorry. Look great today. Your nice dress.
Dean, they had the heat at the school cranked to 106 fucking degrees today. So, yeah, I'm showing a little more skin than usual. What am I supposed to do, wear a parka? I'm wearing it for me, not for people to look at.
I'm just trying to compliment you.
You know what would be a compliment? A real compliment? Pay attention sometime.
Darling, let us help you with that. Whatever happened to your arm?
I was in a car accident last month. Still trying to get used to this thing.
Oh, so what caused the accident?
It's a long story, But I was pretty lucky because that's how I met my girlfriend.
Honey, that's wonderful. Tell us all about it.
Oh, yeah. Wow. So you're a lesbian?
Yep.
Full time?
What? You mean, do I ever slip and accidentally sleep with a man?
Oh, well, no. It's just that my sister Bianca, well, she goes out with guys and girls. So
I dated a guy once. It didn't end well. But Corinne is, oh, she's great. She's a writer.
Oh, what does she write?
Short stories and stuff.
Anything good?
I don't actually know. She won't let me read them. Anyway, before Mom starts in with everything that she loves about this book, I'd like to take the opportunity to begin our discussion with a partial list of things not found in the writings of Jane Austen. Locked room murders, punishing kisses, girls dressed as boys, spies, serial killers, cloaks of invisibility, doppelgangers, or most regrettably, cats. And Sense and Sensibility is no exception.
But let's not focus on the negative.
Right. There are so many good zingers in this book. You can't tell me that one of your favorite things in all of Austen isn't the part where Fanny Dashwood convinces her dim-witted husband not to give his sisters a cent of their money. The contempt is palpable. You can feel it crawling across your skin.
And the repetition of this book, the fact that we see both Eleanor and Marianne falling into patterns of behavior influenced by the men in their lives.
Repetition is tedious. Progression is where it's at. I really love a good story progression that turns things all the way over from where they started. And this book just doesn't have it.
Did you start out this discussion with what you hated about the book? I told you not to do that.
I was just trying to balance it out before you came in here all in love with it.
Well, how's this for balance? This story is just like a fairy tale, but with an amazing twist. Once upon a time, after the death of her beloved husband, a gentle stepmother is forced to live in a house ruled by her wicked stepdaughter. I think that should knock a few of those not seen in Austen things off your list.
Mother, did you look at my notes?
As your co-host, I thought it only fair. Plus, it was my duty to shield everyone from what you really think.
I like the fairy tale analogy. What do you think, Greg?
Oh, I think it does have some fairy tale similarities. The stunning visual opening with the snowfall and such.
Right.
What frustrates me is that Mrs. Dashwood's situation can't have been all that unusual for the time, considering how family fortunes were passed to the eldest son instead of the widow. But how often does it ever appear in books? It just goes to show that most writers don't take an interest in older women.
If you're trying to make the case that Austen does, I must counter to say that this book really isn't about Mrs. Dashwood. It's about her young, beautiful daughters. Colonel Brandon, for instance, isn't much younger than Mrs. Dashwood, but why then did Austen pair him with her daughter and not her?
I don't think she did that to make any sort of statement about age. It was probably just a foil for her sister's relationship. Eleanor gets a happy ending, so Marianne gets one too.
But where is the happy ending for Mrs. Dashwood?
I think that this is another instance where Jane is employing irony. I am often ironic myself. Sometimes my friends have to ask me, was that a joke?
Was that a joke?
Austen's minor characters are pretty wonderful, though, aren't they? All of the side stories that she weaves together, she does it just as well as Charles Dickens, I think.
I was thinking something similar. It's a pretty common plot device in sitcoms, actually. You can almost imagine Jane Austen in today's world writing The Eleanor Show, where the Dashwood sisters have an apartment in New York City and all these other amazing characters just come stumbling in and out.
I felt like most of her minor characters in this book were terrible. Such a mishmash of ladies, and I couldn't even keep them straight. Mrs. Jennings, Mrs. Palmer, and the other one. And honestly, I saw myself the most in Mr. Palmer. He doesn't take people's bullshit.
Well, we know why you like him.
But then he reforms and all but disappears from the story, and it stretches our credulity quite a bit at the end. The sudden marriage of Robert Ferris and Lucy Steele. I mean, come on, it's so kitschy.
While I do agree that the minor characters in this book aren't the best, I believe that Austen gets better at them in her later books. And as far as the ending goes, I find it perfectly within Austen's character to end it that way.
Yes, I think we've had enough Austen bashing.
I don't have any trouble with the end. I think Austen explains herself very well.
My credulity remains unstretched.
Well, then I guess I'm crossing magic tricks off of my list because Jane clearly pulled a rabbit out of a hat on this one.
Hey, B. So, today was a bust. Jocelyn, the woman I was telling you guys about, definitely seems interested, but I thought she was pushing me to date this girl who is a lot younger than me. Turns out, this girl is also a lesbian. All the way.
One, please tell me you said all the way to her. 2, how much younger are we talking? 3, is she hot?
1, I basically did. 2, probably 10 years. 3, yes, but too young for me and too far away for you.
I wasn't serious. We've got to get you a list of do's and don'ts. You're too straight for your own good. I blame Dad's bad parenting.
That's why I'm asking the one not straight sibling I have. Do you think it was a test?
If it was, Jocelyn is probably not the kind of woman you want. That seems like a cruel thing to do to you and a lesbian.
What should I do? I think I may have offended the girl.
Okay, first on your list, stop calling anyone over 18 a girl. She's a woman.
Okay, that's a good start.
Also, try not being so obvious about your feelings. You've never been very good at that, but maybe you should be devious. Set up a little test of your own. You should flirt with your new lesbian girlfriend and make Jocelyn jealous.
I don't think that's gonna work.
Well, it was worth suggesting. Let's see. She got you into Jane Austen, right?
Yes, and I've been trying to get her into my books, but I don't think it's working.
Is there anything new you could try pushing her toward? If she'll follow you out of her comfort zone, that's a pretty sure sign she's into you.
You know what? I may have found just the thing.
A convention? Yeah, better keep jealousy as your plan B.
Hey, how's it going, Jackie?
Oh, good. I'm really nervous about my lines, and I don't know the ending to the first song.
It's okay. Well, hopefully.
Hey, Trey, are you ready for today?
Rehearsal?
Well, yeah, but the kissing stuff is today.
Oh, yeah, right.
Are you nervous?
No, we've kissed plenty of times.
Yeah, but this is gonna be in front of, like, people.
It's not really any different. Hey, where were you this morning? I waited by your locker. I never saw you.
I missed the bus. And my dad was sick this morning, so I didn't have a ride.
Should have called me. I'll give you a ride next time.
Really?
Yeah. Plus, I'll do anything to get out of first period.
You dork. Thanks, Trey.
Sorry I'm late, everyone. I'm Mrs. Brophy. Miss Fry is out this week, so I will be in charge of rehearsals until she gets back. Furthermore, I will be assistant directing the production in May, as I will no longer be out of the country. I would like you to split into pairs to work on your accents today. Brigadoon is a beautiful show, but only if we sound authentic. If you have a lead role, please come and see me one at a time. Trey, you're first.
No dress today. That's all right. I also like it when you dress like a flight attendant.
I dress like a teacher. Otherwise, things get confusing. Can you
Well, I saw you watching us when you came in.
No, I wasn't watching you specifically.
Hey, it's fine.
No, I was counting how many students are in the production. Could you please pick a passage from the script and let me hear your accent?
You know, I think Lisa only auditioned for the show because she wanted to hook up with me anyway.
Is that so?
Yeah, the thing is, I'm not really sure about the chemistry. Backstage build-up seems off. And do not even get me started on her accent.
Why don't you let me worry about hers and you work on yours? Go on, work on it.
But me lass, you haven't even heard it yet though.
Can you just go? Lisa?
Yes, Miss Brophy?
I need to hear your Scottish accent. Could you go ahead and say some of your lines for me?
Oh, okay. I'll need to get my book. I don't have my lines memorized quite yet.
Lisa, I don't mean to overstep, but is everything okay? It's not like you to be this behind in your work. You've been struggling a lot lately in French as well, and it just seems rather out of character.
Yeah, everything's fine. I'm just busy. I've got a new job and stuff.
Your mom passed away earlier this year, didn't she?
Yeah. I'm really fine though. You don't need to be worried.
Yes, but I know that sometimes when a loved one dies, that changes things. And sometimes those changes can seem insurmountable. I just want you to know that I get that.
Cool.
Can you say that with an accent?
Cool. Oh.
I lived with my mother growing up, but she wasn't really involved in my life. When I turned 12, I started pretending that my mother died of cholera. It's crazy. One day I actually said it out loud to her though, and even though she was still around in the flesh, our relationship definitely changed after that.
Well, my situation isn't pretend. I didn't get a choice.
You're right. I'm sorry. If you say you're fine, then I believe you. But if ever you aren't fine, my number, it's listed on the production sheet for the show.
Sure. What were you reading?
Oh, I'm part of a book club. We're reading all Jane Austen. Have you ever read her before?
Only one. Mansfield Park. We read it this year for senior lit. I loved it.
That's actually the book we just started. I'm going to lead the discussion on it since no one else seems to like it. You know, I find Austen's take on the stage play in this book very interesting. The kids put on a production in the house, and two of them fall in love, and it just confuses their emotions. You know, it's like they play with fire before they know how to handle it. It seems to me that Austen finds the whole business to be une situation imprudente. Do you know what that means?
Unwise.
You're smarter than your grades are making you out to be.
Look, Mrs. B, I know what you're doing, but I've got this. Trey and I are really in love.
That's still not as smart as you think you are. You're free to go work on your lines, but not with Trey.
But he's playing opposite me.
Yes, but we will figure out another arrangement for today.
Whatever you say.
How nice. You found the bell.
Yes, sorry, I'm here for the Inland Empire Hound Club.
Yes, the Dog Breeders Convention. How nice. Did you misplace your complimentary dog biscuit?
No, wait, do we get one of those?
No.
Okay. Can you tell me where to go?
See the elevator to your left?
Yes.
See the staircase to your right?
Okay.
Pick one.
Does it matter which
Would you
one?
like me to draw you a map?
No, I think I'll be just...
Then it will be floor 15. It's the first conference room on your right.
Okay.
If you get lost, just listen for the barking.
Thanks.
The bell still works.
Yes. Sorry, is there something else going on here today?
Yes, ma'am. We are also hosting Western S-Con this weekend, an array of every fandom you can imagine.
Oh my god, that's right.
You sound so excited. The Why We Once Loved Buffy panel is about to start.
Well, good thing my love for her is still fully intact. A friend actually invited me to this, and I was planning on being nowhere near here. In fact, I told him I was sick because I didn't know if it was a whole weekend thing or what, like...
How nice. If you are interested in any of the activities, you can purchase a wristband on floor 3.
Oh, no thank you. I'm just here for the dogs.
Jocelyn?
Greg! Wow! You're here.
I love my job.
Of course I am. Were you trying to surprise me?
No one could be more surprised than I am.
Oh, are you going up?
After you. Wow, my dog has a collar just like that. What was that?
They were invisible.
What do you mean?
It's a game. They're vampires, and when you see them cross their arms like that, it means you're not supposed to see them. You're supposed to pretend they're not there. They're invisible. That's why she didn't answer you.
Well, vampire or not, that's no excuse to be rude.
So, you didn't come for the conference, did you?
Actually, no. I'm here for my dog raising group. They have a convention this weekend as well.
Yeah, I kind of figured when you said you'd be sick the whole weekend. I take it you haven't had a chance to read those Ursula Le Guin books yet either.
Well, with the book club and all, I really haven't had the time.
Well, she's here, for the conference. She's doing a panel with J.J. Abrams. They might be getting a movie deal.
I'll definitely let you know. I'm glad Allegra hasn't scared you away from the book club yet.
Yeah, I meant to ask. Why didn't you tell me she was a lesbian?
You didn't know? I thought she dropped it in every conversation now, ever since I tried to set her up with a couple guys a year or two ago. Sylvia finally had to set me straight. By the way, have you talked to Sylvia?
About what?
She and Daniel start their divorce proceedings this week. Maybe if you took her out for dinner, you could give her some encouragement.
Well, wouldn't she like it better if you did that? I mean, you're her best friend, and you introduced them, right? Well, not that any of this is your fault. I mean, Daniel sounds like a regular tool.
Well, he wasn't always this way. He and I dated in high school, and he was pretty wonderful, actually.
Really? You dated Daniel?
Why are you surprised? Because I'm older than I look?
I know, right?
Because I didn't know you had dated anyone. That came out wrong.
I dated him first, and then he and Sylvia met, and they just clicked better, so I set them up.
Oh, well, maybe I will see how they're doing, how she's doing. I mean, everyone can use some encouragement. Oh, this is me.
Okay, see you at book club.
Or upstairs?
Or upstairs. What a bunch of freaks! No offense if any invisible people are still in here.
Dad, are you here?
Oh, Lisa, here, come here. Look at those guys trying to teach me how to make dinner with chopsticks.
Dad, you left the stove on. Didn't you hear the alarm? You could have burned the whole house down.
Yeah, I was making dinner. Why are you so angry?
I'm not angry. I'm just worried because I can't leave you alone at all anymore.
Well, I'm fine.
You're not fine. Do you even know what you take?
Nothing.
Yes, you did. Where is it, Dad?
Look, I'm trying to watch TV.
Last week I found you in a puddle of throw up in the bathroom. Now this. Look, you burned a hole in the carpet. You can't keep doing this.
No one asked you to come home and spoil everything, okay? I'm your father here, and don't you forget it.
You know, trust me, I don't forget it.
What did you just say to me, you little brat? Lisa, you're going to show me the respect I deserve. I keep this roof from falling down over us. And if you can't be grateful for what I give you, hell, you can't stay here.
Where am I supposed to go?
I don't care. I want you out. Until you learn how to talk to me.
Dad, this is crazy.
Oh, don't you ever call me crazy.
One of these days you're going to wake up from this and be sorry. Everything is a mess, Dad. This is not what Mom would have wanted for us. She would die all over again if she knew that this was how
I said get out!
Oh gosh, Lisa, I've been so worried.
I'm so sorry to bother you. I didn't know where else to go. It's my dad. He's never been like this before. He was so far gone tonight.
Shh, it's okay. Come in. Are you all right? Did he hurt you?
No, I'm fine. I promise. He isn't usually this bad. I couldn't stay there right now. Can I maybe stay with you for a few days?
Well, yes, of course. Dean and I have room.
Thank you. I just need some space, you know? Things have been weird since my older brother left last year, and we haven't really heard from him since, so my dad's just taking it really hard. It's not his fault.
Okay. If you say this is out of character for your dad, I believe you. But if you are going to protect yourself, at some point, Lisa needs to be honest with Lisa about the situation. I went through the same thing when I was younger, and no one can help until the problem's identified. Anyway, we can talk about all this in the morning on the way to school, okay? For now, why don't you go bring your things in, and we'll get the guest room ready, okay?
Honey.
Oh, Dean, this is Lisa Straight. I'm going to let her stay in the guest room for a little bit while she gets things sorted out at home.
Hey, I really need to talk to you.
The room is just down the hall to the left. Why don't you go get comfortable, and I'll be in with linens in just a minute.
Thank you both so much.
Prudy.
Dean, what is it?
It's your mom.
Those stilettos, if my heels, oof, I could wear those.
Sylvia. Hello. We were just about to leave.
Oh, hello. Hi. Are these friends of yours?
Sweetheart, why don't you go see if the food is ready?
Oh, okay. It was nice meeting you two. Mm-hmm.
Sorry about this. You can have the whole mall. We never shop here, really.
She doesn't know who I am, does she? Have you even told her about the divorce?
Sylvia, I don't think now is the time. Your friend is here. You have a great time. I'll see you next week.
How do you like that?
I don't. Dear, you just let him take control of that entire situation.
What else was I supposed to do?
I don't mean to say it's your fault. I can tell he's one of those men who knows how to take command. It takes the breath right out of you. Reminds me of my first husband. He was a politician, John Andretti.
And that didn't work out for you for similar reasons?
Now, hold on. Don't get ahead of me. In college, I was part of a dancing group called the Red Hot Peppers. I know, it's hard to imagine me as a dancer. But I did it to make money on the side during the flamenco craze. I'm not entirely sure if that was real or just something that our manager invented. But while on tour, we stopped in a little town called Clear Lake. We were in the midst of the performance at this ritzy hotel. For whatever reason, there was a decorative little fountain as a backdrop. We hadn't had time to practice before we did the show that evening, and all of us were nervous. Especially that sexy man in the front row staring at us. I was the last in line during the dance as I was the shortest. My dance partner took us a few steps too close to the fountain, and before I knew it, in I went. The man from the front row hopped up on stage and fished me out. It was like he was waiting for it to happen, he later told me.
I've been fishing for years, and you're the littlest thing I've ever pulled out of the water.
I should have made him throw me back. Anyway, John was great as a politician. Getting elected was a breeze for him.
It's all about the narrative, learning how to control the conversation.
He'd say. His narrative was classic. He was born very poor. He always made sure you knew that up front. Then he'd follow it up with something like,
God as my witness, I pledged I'd never go hungry again.
Brave stuff. But the genius part was his hint that he had suffered some sort of betrayal. Nothing too specific, but with clear implication that he was too good to give you the details.
I am not one to hold a grudge.
Became a catchphrase of his. In reality, John was the angriest man alive. He kept a list of insults, an actual list that went back 20-something years. One of his best friends from grade school apparently called him a
nasty little social climber.
And there it was. Number 3 on the list. His mother held slots 1 and 2. I made my first appearance on it a few years after we were married. I started to catch on, but not fast enough. John ran off with my little sister without even divorcing me. I learned he had quite a past. Gambling debts and a arrest record. But from the whole experience, I learned something much more. Those with true integrity will never have to sell it to you. And those who truly have command of a situation rarely have to fight for it.
That's just it. I don't want to fight at all. I just want this all to end.
My dearest, most beloved Sylvia, we haven't come to the end yet.
Hello, hello. Sorry I'm a little late. My car was being weird, so I biked. Wow, I never figured I'd beat Prudy to one of these things.
Actually, Prudy won't be here. Her mother passed away, so she and Dean are out of town for the funeral.
Oh gosh, was she sick?
We don't know a lot of details. Apparently, Bernadette does. She's going to fill us in when she gets here.
Oh, well, my drink order's ready. Nice dress, Sylvia.
Thanks.
Oh, there's Bernie.
Who's with her?
She said she was bringing a girl that Prudy had invited to the group. I think one of her students.
Well, let's hope she doesn't share the same opinions.
Allegra, be nice.
Hi, everyone. This is Lisa, one of Prudy's best students. Lisa, this is Allegra, Jocelyn, Sylvia, and Greg, the All Jane Austen All the Time book club.
Nice to meet all of you.
Prudy was planning to bring Lisa today to introduce her as her 7th member, but in light of her being out of town, they decided that Lisa could lead the discussion in her place.
If that's okay with everyone. If not, we can always wait until she gets back.
I think it's a wonderful idea. We talked about it on our way over, and I think she has some beautiful insights.
Well, I guess that's fine with me.
Anyone else opposed? Great. Lisa, the floor is yours.
Well, I wanted to say that the thing I liked most about the book was the beginning with the mother and the aunts, the 3 beautiful sisters all married. It sort of reminded me of the 3 little pigs.
Fairy tales again.
She's right. One marries the strong, sturdy man with the wealth. One marries the nice man with the modest income, and Mrs. Price...
Fanny's mother marries the man of straw, whose poverty ruins them all.
So then you're going to tell me that the rest of the story is like Cinderella, since Fanny gets kicked out of her home and has to live with strangers and do all their bidding.
Well, now that you mention it,
I don't think this story could hope to be that interesting. Fanny Price is as boring as they come. My girlfriend and I read this one together, and she says that when you have a book completely driven by the events around a person and not the person themselves, it makes for a very weak lead. And I agree.
Well, I was just thinking that...
Did I mention that my girlfriend is a good writer?
And now, hold on. Before we start in on Fanny, let me point out that no other heroine in all of Jane Austen is as devout as she is. 6 books and not one of them speaks so approvingly.
Yeah, exactly. And there was that one part.
Right. Austen's book has so many clergy in them, but in the end, it's all about the financial standings of the match, not the spiritual. Even with Reverend Collins and Pride and Prejudice.
How about the part where
Pride and Prejudice? I don't think I've read that one. Where does it fall in the order?
No, here, let me.
Guys, Lisa is trying to say something.
We're sorry, dear. Just talk over us. It's the only way.
I was just going to say that in some versions of Cinderella, the father doesn't die. He just gives in to the stepmother. And who is the real bad guy then? I think it would be the father. And I feel that way about Edmund in this story.
But he ends up with the heroine in the end.
But he's so hypocritical. He would rather lose his sister and their relationship over some silly ideal than just fix the relationship and the problem. He lets his own broken moral compass fuck everything up. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I may be too emotionally involved in all this.
Hey, no need to apologize. I like the way you put it.
Yes, take your time to say what you want to say.
We're listening.
I think Fanny doesn't appreciate Mansfield Park until she suddenly has to leave to go back home and take care of her sick relatives. They kicked her out, and she had to live in a place that she thought was cold and unfeeling with too much drama. But once she has to leave there, she realizes that her idea of going home was the real fairy tale.
Very perceptive.
Yes. I never thought of it that way before.
Sometimes it just takes someone else pointing out the obvious.
Lisa, welcome to the club. I think Prudy would be very proud of your conclusions.
Proud? Really? You're proud? Of what, Dean?
I was just saying how proud I am of the way you handled yourself tonight.
What does that mean?
I know that you hate this place already, but you've been dealing with it so well.
Yes, I've been dealing with it because I'm an adult. Dean, that's what's expected of me. I always do what's expected of me. I hate these town. I hate these people.
Exactly. All those people from your school were there, and I know you never really got along with any of them, but you were just so sweet.
Because I had to be. Dean, do you think I really wanted to be up there talking in front of people who tormented me most of my life? And no one was there to help me. My own uncle didn't even bother to show up.
You had me, and what was that friend of yours? What's her name? Laura.
Lori Atwood. Lori Atwood is not my friend, Dean. Lori Atwood is a bitch, and she, like most of those people there today, came to gloat. Huh, your mother's dead, and poor little Prudy loses again. And what did you do? You hit on her.
What?
You hit on her, Dean. She stood there judging me the whole time, and you hit on her.
Prudy!
Anyone with eyes could have seen that.
Prudy, I'm sorry. I would never do that. I'm just sorry if you felt like I wasn't supportive. I don't know what you want from me anymore. Nothing I do seems good enough.
Do you know what my mother said to me the first time she met you? She said, you can marry someone you're lucky to get, or you can marry someone who's lucky to get you. And she made it pretty clear which is which in this case.
Oh, come on. Since when do you listen to anything that she had said? Why can't we both be lucky?
Because that is not reality. Reality is that when I look at you, we are still in high school. And I am that band geek that all the girls hate, and you are the jock that all the girls love. And the only time that I don't have to compete for your attention is when we meet up at your house to watch the OC.
Baby, high school is over.
For some of us, Dean, high school is never over.
No, Prudy. There was a time when I thought we were really happy. But we won't ever be able to get there until you settle this with yourself.
Pourquoi ne puis-je pas résoudre ce problème?
Trey? Hi.
Oh, hey. What are you doing here?
I'm house sitting for Mrs. Brophy while she and her husband are out of town. I didn't see you in French class today.
Yeah, I figured since we had a sub, it'd be a good chance to ditch.
So, what are you doing here? I don't think Mrs. B runs detention at her house.
Funny. I talked to her about the other day, and she said she was having a trouble with a virus on her computer. I promised I'd come and fix it for her.
Her mom passed away. They went to her funeral.
Huh. Seems weird she'd ask you to house sit. When did you and Prudy get so close?
Probably around the same time you started using her first name. Well, I can get her laptop from the other room, but if it has a password, I don't know it. I do have the Netflix password, though. You could stay for a bit and chill.
I don't know. I'd feel weird messing around in Miss B's house.
She's a Mrs. And why? Because she's our teacher or because it's her house?
Huh?
Never mind. You want to run lines or something? You haven't been at the last 2 rehearsals.
Yeah, actually, I'm dropping out of the show.
What? You can't do that. We're 2 weeks from opening.
Yeah, but coach wants me for more practice time than I can give.
Do you seriously want to go back to all the jocks and their steroids?
Hey, they're not all using. Plus, is that any better than all the pothead theater kids? Honestly, I'm just not feeling it.
But if you drop out, who's going to do it?
Danny will do it. He should have gotten the role in the first place.
No, I cannot kiss Danny Fargo in front of the whole school. Seriously, what is it?
Nothing. I told you. I'm here to fix Prudy's computer.
Look, I'm not dumb, okay? I know something is going on with you two. And ever since she started helping with the musical, it's gotten even weirder than before.
Oh, please.
She's a teacher. And way too smart to mess up her career for a kid like you.
Hey, who are you calling a kid?
You're acting like one. Pretending to have a relationship with a teacher, a married teacher.
You want to talk about pretending? I'm not dumb either. You keep getting cast in these plays, but you're not as good of an actress as you think. Something is going on with you, and if you want to act like everything's good, fine. Then we'll both be living in a fantasy. Look, I'll come back when Prudy is home.
And I'll make sure her husband greets you at the door.
cooking?
You know, if you keep answering the phone like that, your husband is going to think you have someone on the side.
He knows I don't have the energy for that. You never call this late. What's up?
Sorry, I meant to call on my lunch break today, but it was crazy. You're not eating dinner, are you?
No, I'm just sorting your nephew's laundry. The boy's 17 and he still doesn't seem to know how to do it himself.
Amelia, you baby him too much.
Maybe. Did I baby you too much?
No, you were pretty great.
Well, that's good to hear. Dad always said we made you too girly. I just think we made you more civilized. I remember one time Mom said, "Well, Dirk, you teach him how to be a man then. God knows you're the only one around here."
Dad never was a great teacher. That's actually why I'm calling. I need some advice. Remember the woman I've been talking about from book club?
Jocelyn, right?
Yeah. She's been trying to set me up with one of her friends who recently got a divorce.
Okay.
And Bianca seems to think I should try being sly and ignoring her to make her jealous. I tried being suggestive and I don't think it worked. Subtlety just makes me feel dishonest.
You asked Bianca for advice first? Wow. Never start with the youngest. Always start with the oldest. I'll be honest with you, Bucko. If Jocelyn didn't take your hints, it could just be that she's not that into you. She doesn't like your jelly, or whatever the kids are saying.
I was afraid of that.
It's not nearly as scary as some of the other things they say.
Oh, no, not that. Just, I was afraid maybe she isn't into me.
Oh, well, don't get all mopey just yet. It could just be that she doesn't take hints well. Maybe you weren't bold enough.
Now you're sounding like Dad.
Not intentionally. But maybe we girls bowled you over a little too much, crowded your masculine energy. If you get drowned out time and again, eventually it can make anyone feel unsure of themselves. Sometimes we women in American society have to fight so hard for what we've gotten, we've drowned out the voices of the men around us, unintentionally. And then we look around and wonder where all the strong guys are.
So you think I should be bolder?
Yes. But I do have to ask first, you aren't using this other woman in some sort of Bianca-influenced jealousy plot, are you?
Oh, no, absolutely not. I mean, to be honest, the more time I spend with Sylvia, the more I truly like her.
Oh, well, if Sylvia has already been in a relationship, chances are the strong choice is the ones that she'll be looking for too. So, you want my advice? Make them bold.
Hey, how's the writing going?
Terrible? I've never been this stopped up before. This is a severe block. I mean, it's been months and I haven't even been able to compose a decent poem.
Well, what's this? This looks like something.
No. It's all trash. Not even worth looking at. The people in my writers group think I've gone completely dry. I can see it every time they look at me.
Would it help if I told you some more stories?
I guess.
Come here. I missed you today. Okay, what did I tell you last time?
You told me about that retarded boy, Billy, from middle school, and how you asked to borrow his basketball one time and he showed you his penis instead. And about the time you went skydiving without telling your parents and almost died.
I just fractured my leg. I guess being broken is a way of life for me.
I'm picking up on that.
Well, you want to hear about why I became a lesbian?
What?
Seriously. It started with my brother Andy and his two friends, Steven and Mike. They were like the Three Musketeers. They did everything together. I don't know when it was that I finally caught on that Stephen and Mike both liked me, but by the time I did, I had flirted with both of them so much that I felt stuck.
Oh, a temptress even at a young age.
I guess. They were both 3 years older, so when Stephen asked me to prom, I was too giddy to say no.
Oh my god, you went to prom as a freshman?
Yeah. My parents weren't happy about it, and my brother was even more upset. But I thought it was the greatest thing. And then Mike asked me to.
No way.
Hey.
Not that you're not a catch. This is just so juicy.
Yeah. I'm gonna go wash my face.
Wait, what? That's it? Oh, come on. Did you go?
I've just never told anyone this part before. And I don't want it to change your opinion of me.
Okay.
Yes, I went. But I was so worried about hurting Mike and Steven's feelings that I said yes to both of them. I think I was just hoping that they would both show up and be cool with us all going together. My brother saw it coming and he told me to talk to them. You had them both by the collar, he said to me once, and you liked it, didn't you? They used to be best friends and they hate each other now.
Oh no.
Yeah. They both showed up at the house, but when Mike realized what was going on, he said, "You guys have fun," and took off. I felt so guilty that I couldn't even have a good time with Steven. We drove to the country club where the dance was being held, and it was beautiful. It had this nice pool and an outdoor gazebo. About halfway through the evening, I was out on the floor with Steven trying to dance. And I saw Mike outside on the porch watching us. I left Steven to go talk to Mike. He asked me not to go, but I went anyway. Mike and I sat on those long deck chairs, and I didn't know what to say because I could tell that he was still really angry. Then all of a sudden he said, "Well, aren't you the thing? You know, there's a word for girls like you." And I knew he was right. Then he grabbed one of my ankles so hard I had a bruise the next day. And he said, "You asked for this. You know you did." And then he stuck his finger inside me. I didn't know what to do. It hurt, but I was too ashamed to move. My brother came out to find me, calling my name, and Mike freaked out and left. I guess Steven had told Andy about the whole mess, and he was furious.
You didn't tell your brother what happened?
No. I've never actually told anyone, not even my parents. At the time, I was so ashamed, and ultimately, I felt like there was nothing else to tell. I didn't want to think about what my secrets did to those boys.
Oh, honey. I think it's time to think about what your secrets did to you.
Thank you, Greg. Such a gentleman.
I hope sushi is okay. I wasn't sure what would be an appropriate lunchtime date option.
I know I'm old, but I'm not that old. Sushi is what every 20-something craves now. Well, I'm 20-something at heart.
Oh, no, I didn't mean because of your age or anything. I just wasn't sure if,
If
Jocelyn
Jocelyn would approve? Probably not. But it's fine. She and I are definitely our own people, particularly where our taste in cuisine is concerned.
And what about your taste in men?
That is surprisingly similar. Did you know that Jocelyn dated Daniel before he and I got together?
Really?
Yes. I think she made a wise choice in passing him up. I'm sorry. I'm okay to talk about it, really. Daniel and I finally finished our proceedings last week, and I have been oddly zen ever since. I think I finally hate him, honestly.
Well, that's good.
Yes. I can finally focus on important things, like this library gala fundraiser I have been neglecting. They want a grand ball this year with lots of gold and lots of violins, and I've barely thought about it in months.
Well, is there anything I can do?
That's very thoughtful of you, but I'm sure you have your hands full with work and finishing Pride and Prejudice. Reading a book like that makes courtship seem easy. There are no vindictive ex-husbands in that.
I don't think dating is ever easy. And what do you mean vindictive?
My son, Diego, warned me that my husband is bringing a date to my fundraiser.
You're kidding.
Who knows at this point? Do you have a date?
Well, the book club was planning to pitch in for a table and all come together. Oh, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to tell you that or not.
You guys are so sweet.
But no date for me specifically. Does Jocelyn ever go out with anyone? Anyone she's not vetting for someone else, I mean.
Who knows what Jocelyn's intentions are? I do know this, though. They are always for the benefit of the people she cares about. Sometimes it's hard to tell who is on that list, but I'm sure you are one of them.
So many glamorous outfits. I have never seen so many rich people in one place. Your mother has really outdone herself this year.
Yeah, this is great. I'm really proud of her. I just wish I could have brought Corinne.
Why didn't you?
She finally had some writing inspiration and I didn't want to mess up the flow. Besides, can you imagine the faces on this crowd if two ladies got out and took over the dance floor?
Well, don't worry. There will be a few other people here your age. Lisa is coming.
I met her once.
And Prudy.
Yay!
Oh, Sylvia! We were just talking about what a magnificent triumph this year's gala is. Brava!
Thanks. Have either of you seen Daniel yet?
Dad's coming?
Yes, and he's bringing Pam. Jocelyn said she'd be here as my backup, but her ride is running late.
I'm sure she'll get here before Daniel does. You should sit, though. You've been running around all day, and you're going to be dancing all evening.
Thank you. I don't think I'll be dancing, though. Not if Daniel is.
What's the point of having dancing at functions like this anyway? It's just a bunch of husbands and their wives, and I'm not even saying that as a bitter lesbian.
You don't like dancing?
Only as an extreme sport. Without the terror of who am I going to ask and who's going to ask me? Will I end up being alone all evening? All you have is the dancing part. Boring.
Thank you, dear.
My third husband, Lloyd, didn't quite like dancing either. He was a religious man, very pious. He found religion around the same time he found me. I know you're probably thinking, how in the world did you end up with him?
Actually, I was thinking about the troubling case of Charlotte Lucas. I've still never understood what would possess her to marry a man like Reverend Collins.
Well, I can tell you from experience that the deep devotion he shows her can be very attractive. Lloyd was so smitten with me that marriage seemed like the best option at the time. We just hit the 3-year mark together when his religious spark became a flame. One day he came home and said,
Nettie?
That's what everyone called me back then.
Nettie, I think we should host our own Bible study.
It started out as a small thing, one night a week. But soon, it was...
Maybe we should do 2 or 3.
And you stayed with him because...
Allegra, that's a terrible thing to say. A man's faith is no excuse to just up and leave him. And what do you have against Charlotte? I actually admire her. She is realistic about the few opportunities available to her, and she takes them.
But does she really have fewer opportunities than Lizzie Bennet? They're both poor and above normal marrying age.
Yes, but Lizzie is pretty, and that makes all the difference. Sorry, Bernadette. Where's Jocelyn?
But the Bible studies were just the beginning. Lloyd figured there was more that he was missing, some level of devotion he had yet to reach. And before I knew it, he said,
Nettie?
It really was the cutest name.
Nettie, there's a man named Reverend Watson who runs a commune out in Colorado. Well, he would like me to come and study under him.
And off we went to live in the desert!
Just like that? No wonder you like Austen so much. Whatever the man wants. If Charlotte Bronte had written the story of Charlotte Lucas, it would have been entirely different.
How do you figure?
Corinne says that the Brontes don't leave characters like Lucas hanging because they are masters of symbolism. They don't need to explain everything in detail like Austen does. Besides, a little Charlotte on Charlotte wouldn't hurt anyone. Sorry, Bernie.
Eventually, we reached the commune and started our life there. But I had my doubts about what that reverend was teaching us. It was all about storing up energy by doing good deeds. Sounds nice, but almost too nice. You know? The final straw was the day Lloyd came to me and said,
Nettie!
Don't you just love that?
Nettie, the Reverend says that I've reached my peak potential. At this point, I should be able to transcend. I'll be able to fly!
I tried to stop it, but all that came out of my mouth was, That's plumb crazy. The next day, Lloyd went off to the canyons to test his theory, and I went off to California a single woman again!
I think Charlotte Lucas is gay.
What could possibly lead you to that conclusion?
She confesses to Lizzie that she's aromantic. She realizes she has no hope of having the type of relationship that she wants, so she settles.
So you think Austen meant her to be gay?
Maybe. Or maybe she's gay and even Austen didn't know it.
Kind of like that idea.
Mm-hmm.
If I were a book character, I'd want to have a secret life that even the author didn't know about. But who am I kidding? I could never pull that off. And Jocelyn would never let me settle. But sometimes I think her standards are too high because she has never been married. I need to go and check and see if she's here yet. Sorry, Bernadette.
Oh, don't mind me.
Hello, everyone. What did I miss?
Bernie was telling us about her third marriage. Wait, did he actually jump off of a cliff?
Oh, Lisa, you're here.
Yeah. I have a party tonight for my book club. One of the ladies brought me a ticket, but all of my dresses were here. I just stopped by to get changed, and then I'll be out of the way.
At least you've been gone for weeks. How are you? Where are you staying? You know, I wasn't serious about you leaving. you know how these things affect me.
Yeah, Dad, I do. That's why you need to stop doing them before we don't have a chance to. You know what? I really don't want to talk about this tonight. I'm already late and I don't have a date for tonight, so I need to call an Uber.
Don't be silly. I can drive you.
Can you?
Or you can take my car.
God, I'd rather not.
Lisa, look, I really want things to be different here. And I'm really trying to work this out.
Then what are you on right now? Do you even know what you took?
Maybe I should try and see someone, a counselor or something. Maybe we could go together.
That's only gonna work if you stick with it this time.
It's not always that simple.
It has to be, Dad. I've made too many mistakes for both of us. We need to stop complicating things and just fix it. Honestly, I don't know if it would be a good idea for me to come back just yet. I've been learning a lot about setting boundaries where I've been staying, and I think that maybe... Dad? Dad, can you hear me? Dad!
Where have you been? I was just about to drive myself.
I'm sorry, my car has still been having some issues. It took a while to start, but I finally got it going. Nice dress.
I've got the door. Let's just go. Sylvia's going to end up stuck there by herself when Daniel arrives with Pam, which reminds me, you need to dance with Sylvia tonight.
Okay.
You can dance, right?
Yes, I can dance.
Because you don't look like a dancer.
Well, what do I look like?
I don't know, someone who reads science fiction.
I have 3 sisters. I can dance. And, you know, it may surprise you, but Sylvia and I already have our own plan.
What do you mean?
We went to lunch the other day and talked about it.
Oh, you did? Where did you go?
Kabuki sushi. Oh, come on, there are 4 lanes here.
Well, you had to know there'd be traffic. We're going downtown on a Friday night. So, what did you wear to lunch with Sylvia?
Ooh, who's that guy out there on the dance floor? Look at those shoulders.
That's my husband.
Oh, the infamous Dean. He looks a lot more fun than I assumed.
He would be if he wasn't such a cliche.
Well, someone has to be. Otherwise, what would the word mean? Why are you still sitting here instead of dancing with him?
Peu de gens savent être vieux.
Was that an explanation? Sweetie, you can't possibly know all of your husband's shortcomings until you've been married a lot longer than you have.
Well, how many years does it take? Because his flaws seem to be really lacking, while mine are all too apparent. I need some way to level the playing field here.
What you need is to stop stressing so much about it. This is how you end up having a nervous breakdown like that night we first met, remember?
I was doing fine.
People who are fine do not weep during a Jane Austen movie. Not loud enough to be heard. 5 rows back at least.
It was emotional.
It was Gwyneth Paltrow. You hated it.
Well, those women behind me were so awful. They kept talking about their own personal drama, and Dean left me alone to see the film, so I had no one to distract me. I mean it. That's the only reason I went off the way I did.
If I hadn't stepped in, you would have torn both of those ladies a new one. Too bad neither of them would have ever known it since the whole tirade was in French. But what did I tell you when we went out to the lobby?
That you didn't think the screenplay was good enough to warrant a reaction like that.
Not that part.
That my accent was better than that of any of the actresses in the film?
Almost there.
That bottling up my anxiety isn't healthy for my marriage, my career, or my life in general.
And we finally arrived. Did I ever tell you about my 6th husband, Mo?
Not yet, no.
Mo is a writer. You may have heard of him. Mo Bellington? He has such a way with words. Not a silver tongue like my first husband, John, but more like everything he says sounds pithy. I met him 8 years ago at this very ball. I had met Jocelyn and Sylvia not too long before that, and when they heard that I was a widow, Jocelyn seized her opportunity to set me up with someone. And there he was, sitting at my table, saying things like,
What a lovely event this is.
And...
Isn't the food delicious?
And...
Oh, smell those flowers.
So deep.
In his prime, Mo looked a lot like your Dean. Hunky, handsome, sure of himself. Mo was also very good at not showing his flaws up front. And after my previous few marriages, that made me jumpy. Well, there was one flaw. I asked him the first night if he'd ever read Jane Austen, and he said,
I envy her the movie deals.
Yes, that sounds just like Dean. He once told me that his favorite Jane Austen movie adaptation was National Velvet.
Good Lord. Well, the point is, we were married 6 years before I realized the most defining flaw was marrying the wrong person.
Beg pardon?
Most idiosyncrasies were fine. They just weren't fine for me. I was too busy looking for the hidden meanings in his words, searching for a hint of betrayal like my fifth husband, Martin, or a sudden life change like my third husband, Lloyd. It wasn't until after I filed for divorce that we were able to become friends. We're actually thick as thieves now, and I bought every book he's ever published.
Well, if you're implying that I'm the problem in my relationship, I already know that.
That's not exactly what I'm getting at. What I'm saying is, sometimes you cannot see how to fix things when you're so close. A change in perspective also involves a drastic change in position.
Do you still see Mr. Bellington?
Yes, I do. He married a wonderful woman last year, and I couldn't be happier for them. In fact, he's going on vacation with me to Costa Rica next month with his wife. Maybe you should come with us. School will be out by then, right?
Oh my God. I have to go. Dean! Dean!
So, how did you enjoy Ursula Le Guin?
You know, book giving becomes kind of pushy and intrusive when followed up with, how did you like the book 10 times?
Is that so?
Yes, I've given out many, many books and never once asked whether or not someone liked them.
Does it come as a surprise to you that not everybody does things exactly the same as you?
Look, I just like books about real people.
And I don't understand the distinction. Elizabeth Bennet is a real person, but Jean Grey isn't?
Jane Grey was a real person.
Jean!
Science fiction books have people in them, sure, but they're not about the people. Real people are complicated.
Well, when you've actually read some, then I will be interested in your opinion.
Oh, come on! Who drives a tractor at this time of night?
I'm so sorry to keep dragging you into this. No one is picking up.
It's gonna be okay. Your dad is going to be fine. I can arrange it at school so that you can have time off to see him if you want.
I saw you with the doctor. What's gonna happen to my dad? Did they tell you what's wrong?
They think that maybe he overdosed on something. They won't release many details to me. They said it was good that you were there, though, that you caught him in time. They're just going to keep him here for observation. He will probably have to have a psych evaluation before they release him, but you can stay with us for as long as it takes.
I need to go home. I shouldn't have been gone so long. If I go home now, I can find all of the stashes and I can throw them away and then they won't be...
I need you to hear me when I say this. Whether you were there or not, and whether you will admit it or not, none of this is your fault. Your father's own choices brought him here. And your job right now is not to worry about the past, but to keep building a future. You have graduation in less than a month.
But he's all I have.
Not anymore. You have everyone in the book club, you have the musical, and you have me. And I'm not going anywhere. and I can't believe I'm asking this, but what about Trey?
He and I broke up. You were right. He wasn't good for me.
Oh.
Besides, I'm pretty sure he's into someone else.
Is that so?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Lisa. No one deserves to be tossed aside like that.
My choice.
Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have assumed.
No, it's fine. Trey has a reputation. You know it too. Everyone at school does. He can't even follow through with this musical. God, he says he's dropping out.
We'll see about that.
What are you planning?
A drastic change in position.
There you are.
I'm so sorry. Mark Twain here decided to take the exit by the river, and we ended up breaking down 5 blocks from here and walking the rest of the way.
Oh my goodness.
Has Daniel gotten here yet?
No, not yet. Here, have a seat. Jocelyn, you really didn't have to.
Greg, honey, are you okay?
There anything stronger than this?
Sure. Yeah, let's go to the kitchen.
The things seem a little tense between you two. Are you sure everything is fine?
Yeah, he just gets under my skin in a way I didn't think possible.
Jocelyn? Have you seen Sylvia? Hello again.
I have. Daniel, you have some nerve bringing Pam here. I cannot believe you would gloat like this.
I'm not here to gloat, and I didn't bring Pam. Right? I came here to talk to my wife.
His wife.
You sure she hasn't left yet? I'm here a lot later than I wanted to be.
Yes, Daniel, it's her fundraiser. You think she's gonna walk out before it's over?
Dad?
Hello, sweetheart. I didn't realize you'd be here. Have you seen your mother?
No, I was outside. I came to get my jacket. I need to get home. Dad, are you alright?
There's some chips at the office today.
That's all? Honey, you probably should have taken it a little slower if that's all you've eaten. Daniel.
Hello, Sylvia. And who is this?
This is my friend, Greg Harris.
Friend. Look, I really need to talk to you. Do you have a minute?
Well, I'm a little busy at the moment.
Well, Sylvia, I really need to talk to you. Do you have a minute?
Well, I'm a little busy at the moment.
Yeah, well, this really can't wait.
Wait just a minute, buddy. She said now isn't a good time.
Greg, it's okay.
No, if you said no, that means no.
Mom.
What kind of man drops his wife out of his life like trash, huh?
Greg.
Look, no one's trash in this scenario, all right? My family means a great deal to me.
Is that so? Then why have you been terrorizing them throughout this whole ordeal?
Okay, terrorizing is a bit much.
Look, I haven't been terrorizing anyone, all right? I've been keeping my distance.
And where's your new girl, huh? The lady you've been parading around? Did you get rid of her too? Did you drive her halfway here and then drop her off and make her walk?
That was us, Greg.
Look, buddy, I don't even know you.
Or did you divorce her too? You know, you made a commitment before God and everybody. But that doesn't mean anything to you, does it?
Okay, that has been quite enough. Allegra, can you please drive Greg home? We'll get him his car tomorrow.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. Come on, crazy.
Daniel, I have nothing to say to you tonight. I have put a lot of work into this gala, and I think we've made enough of a scene already.
Can I call you tomorrow?
I'll call you when I'm ready.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Okay, guys, I have a sneeze, so can you be quiet, please?
I didn't know whether to call the newspapers or call the police.
I know. Cannot believe Greg terrorizing.
Right? Greg would have lost that fight. Daniel would have knocked his head off. Do you remember that guy at the ski resort that he clocked that guy who insulted you?
What a night.
More champagne, please.
Hey, babe. I'm so sorry. It is way later than I said, but you have got to hear what happened. I had to take Greg home after because he got super drunk and started losing his shit. It was hysterical. I have never seen him like that. Corinne?
Dear Miss Corinne Mayhern, we regret to inform you that we must decline your newest set of short stories that you sent to us for publication. Billy's Ball, while strong narratively, is a bit crude in wording, specifically the use of the word retarded, which may alienate whatever readers you still have left, after the image of him waving around his penis sinks in. The Jump also held some promise, but it leaves the reader asking the question, why would a self-centered young lesbian jump out of a plane in the first place? And last but not least, the grammatical structure of your last piece made it clear that you did not spend much time editing before sending it in. We also feel that the subject matter of the piece may be inappropriate for the sort of publication that we run. Don't you think that the title, Giving the Finger, is a bit on the nose?
Greg, it's the book club. Sorry we're so early. It's 5 minutes till and we wanted to make sure we made it on time. Are you here?
Hey, come on in.
What's with the low lighting?
It relaxes me. It also lets me use the projector on the ceiling. Leaves more space than if I had a TV.
I'll be honest, this is better than I imagined. I kind of figured you wouldn't be hosting us at all.
And why is that?
Guys never do that stuff. They don't make the big meals like at Thanksgiving. They don't usually host parties that aren't keggers.
Well, I grew up in a family of mostly women, so I guess special rules apply.
Hey, you have furniture. That's all I need.
Well, my salary at this job at the university is less than what I used to make, but I'm not that poor. Besides, I like the job, and people are always bringing me cookies.
I approve.
So do I.
Well, it's great to have Prudy back. We're missing Bernadette this month, but I FaceTimed with her this morning and she's having the time of her life in Costa Rica. I think she may have met a man.
You're kidding.
Aww.
She never ceases to amaze.
So, Greg, why did you say you liked Northanger Abbey so much?
I like how self-aware it is. It's a novel about novels. Has kind of an Inception vibe to it. It poses questions like, what is a heroine really, and what constitutes an adventure?
It makes sense that Austen would ask these questions at this point since it was her first book.
Wait, I thought it was last.
I've got this, everyone. It was written first, but the publishers didn't get it out until after she died, so it ended up being published last.
Gotta love how Austen uses this book to point out how other authors denigrate their novels while she basically does the same thing. Writers can be a pretty hypocritical bunch, can't they?
I actually kind of thought that she had it out for the readers more so than the writers. She makes Catherine seem pretty crazy, going on and on about that book that she reads. What was it called? The Mystery of something? She's living in a fantasy world.
Well, maybe we should read The Mysteries of Udolpho next, and we'll all understand. Austen clearly studied that story in order to write this one.
Wait, that's a real book? Have you actually read it?
Oh, yeah, it's over on the bookshelf.
No way.
Ooh.
Black Veils and Laurentina's Skeleton? Didn't that sound awesome to anyone else?
Not particularly.
Prudy, you've been pretty quiet tonight. Do you have any opinions?
Oh, I find Catherine insufferable. But Tilney, he's a genuine wit. I love him so much more than Edward in Sense and Sensibility or Edmund in Mansfield Park. Something about his confidence is just so sexy.
Austen is over here implying that Udolpho is such a dangerous book because it makes people believe that life is an adventure. Catherine is completely under its spell, so much so that she loses touch with reality and accuses the general of offing his wife. But really, Austen is the one out here writing the dangerous books, making people believe that love prevails and that honesty and loyalty are rewarded. Even hundreds of years after she writes them, people are still believing that bullshit. I need to use the bathroom.
First door on the left.
Is she okay?
She and Corinne broke up. She won't really talk about it, but I don't think it's fixable.
You have some pretty great stuff over here, Greg. I loved Left Hand of Darkness, and Celia Callow has some really awesome stuff. Can I borrow some of these?
Of course. Just be careful. They can be pretty intense. Thanks for helping me clean up. You really didn't have to.
You always help everyone else out. Besides, I've seen the inside of your car. I know how you clean.
Well, that reminds me. I'm really sorry for the scene I caused at the gala, and some of the things I said in the car were out of line.
It's fine. It was as much my fault as anyone's. We were both on edge, worked up in the car. Daniel had us all on edge. I'm sorry I pushed you.
I know you're just trying to protect the people you love. It's admirable.
So, what started your deep devotion to science fiction?
Honestly? Well, when I was a kid, it was the only place I could go where I wasn't alone or surrounded by girls. Once I became a teenager and realized just how much women were actually involved in it, that slowly became the draw. My favorite author starting out was Andrew North. which I later found out was just a pen name for Andrea Norton. And she's actually kind of hot. It helped me understand that reality is only partially our perception. I can see this chair out of the corner of my eye and think that it's a cat, but I know it's still a chair. And on the other side of the coin, you start to learn that anything can be faked. I mean, according to Philip K. Dick, at least half of the people in history never existed. Sci-fi allows me to see beyond what I've been told are the rules to reality.
My whole world is built on rules. I train dogs. Hierarchy is important. Rules are created to be followed. That's what I've always been taught. That's what I've always lived. And it gives me a sense of control.
Uh-huh.
I don't like messy. I like straight lines, unblurred boundaries.
And reading Jane Austen gives you that.
Yes. But last night I was in bed and I couldn't sleep. I think I was a little worried that we'd show up today and you wouldn't be home.
I mean, I'm really not that irresponsible.
No. But I was kind of worried that we've given you too hard a time. Anyways, I was finished with Austen, so I picked this up and I couldn't put it down.
What?
But I have so many questions. Why didn't Larima keep the gleaming stone in the bag the whole time, all the way to Danzora? If she would have kept it in there a little bit longer, the race wouldn't have gotten it. And what happened to her mother? They never explained that.
Wait, slow down. Lathe of Heaven is only the first in the Stonebridge Chronicles. Le Guin has 2 more in that series and 4 more in her Everlasting series. I was going to give you the others if you liked the first one.
Well, I never thought I'd say this, but I really would like to take a look at what you have.
Sure, take anything off the bookshelf you want.
Greg, I'm sorry I misjudged you.
It's okay. I think we both underestimated the power of Jane Austen. And hey, if you really like them, maybe we can read these for the next book club.
I wouldn't push it.
Hello.
I heard you wanted to see me.
Yes, get in.
I have class in 5.
Well, this will only take a minute. I just wanted to know if you're really dropping out of Brigadoon.
I was thinking about it, yeah. I don't really have any reason to stay.
What about your commitments? Is your word not important to you?
Commitments. Funny you bring that up. How are things with your husband going?
I realized lately that I feel more lucky in my marriage than content with it. So I'm making some adjustments.
Yeah, you seem pretty flirty with me since you got back in town.
Trey, I haven't even seen you.
I've gotten 3 notes in my locker saying you wanted to meet. And I know they're not from any of my friends because the handwriting is way too nice.
I just wanted to make sure that the show goes well. For Lisa's sake. It's her senior year and yours, and you all deserve a good ending to your high school memories. The last thing you want to do is manufacture those.
Manufacture.
Yeah, my mother used to have me do that all the time. She lived by the phrase, let's nod and say we did. I would beg for a nice birthday party, but it was too much of an effort for her. So instead, she'd let the day pass, and then we would spend years talking about it like it happened. I never actually got a party, but remember the pink frosting, she'd say, on your cake? Remember the cool balloons that you blew up? I didn't get any parties, but I do have some wonderful memories of ballerinas, pool parties, roller coasters, friends.
Wow. That's messed up.
Yeah. And so am I, which is why I'm sitting here now.
I don't think so. You're here because you know we are meant to be together. It's inevitable.
Trey, you really shouldn't come on to me.
Why? Because you're a teacher. Come on, let's get out of here.
Let's not, and just wish we did.
I don't want to pretend.
Oh, we're late.
Hello, I'm Sylvia Sanchez. I got a call that my daughter, Allegra Hunter, was brought in about an hour ago. Can I see her?
Mrs. Sanchez, yes, I'm Dr. Yep. I'm so sorry to have bothered you at the library, but Allegra said you would be very upset if we didn't call you, and she said she's had a history of accidents and that she's made that mistake before.
What happened? Is she conscious?
Oh, yes, she's had a pretty bad fall, but she's doing fine.
Hi, Mom. Look, I finally got a full set. I've broken every limb.
What were you doing?
I was climbing up Falls Park and I slipped.
You weren't wearing any gear?
It was just a short climb. I didn't think I would need it.
Oh, good grief.
Dad!
What are you doing here?
After I tried to call you the second time, I called her father as well. I'm so sorry to have bothered you both at the library.
It's fine.
It's fine. So, what's the damage this time, Doc?
Well, she has a lateral break in her right radius. I've set it in a cast and it may take about 10 weeks to come off.
And I bruised my hip pretty good, but Samantha has been taking very good care of me.
Let's just keep that at Dr. Yep. Allegra, why are you being so flippant about this? You could have died!
Mom, I'm fine.
Sylvia, please, let's let her rest. Huh. Are you okay? I mean, you seem awfully shaken up for someone who's seen her daughter here like a billion times before.
I was just so scared. When they called me, I got no information. I didn't know if she'd broken a nail or broken her neck. And I also wasn't expecting to see you here.
Sorry about that. I mean, they made it sound like no one was here, so I came. If you really want me to go, I will, as long as Allegra knows that I came for her.
No, you don't have to go. I don't want to deal with these people by myself.
It's always her, right? Never the boys. I mean, well, except that time that Andy fell out of the elm tree.
We have some daring kids, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Well, they learned it from their parents.
And just like their parents, they're learning the hard way. Did Allegra tell you she broke up with her girlfriend for reasons that she won't share? I'm worried about her.
She seems fine to me. I broke things off with Pam. I mean, that's what I came to tell you at the library gala last month. I was hoping you'd call so we could talk.
Oh?
I think I was searching for something that I already found. Sylvia?
Yes.
Are you happy?
I think I'm getting there.
It's good. It's good. How's Jocelyn?
Jocelyn is great. Busy running the world, but forgetting to check her corner.
Well, that's good. Because I would not want to live in a world that Jocelyn wasn't running.
Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Sanchez.
It's Hunter. His name is Hunter.
Oh, my apologies. We're going to need to keep Allegra overnight for minimal observation.
And for maximum annoyance.
Yeah, more FaceTime, more like it. I think the doctor has a crush.
Well, at least she's a doctor. We're moving up the corporate ladder.
At least you're still here?
I had most of today off from school. I left for a while to finish my last final, but then I came back.
What are you doing here? You should be out with your friends. You're about to graduate. It's time to celebrate.
I'll be fine. I don't feel much like going out right now. The musical just finished and all my tests are done. I just moved back into the house. I just want to relax.
You've been here every day taking care of me. You can't be getting much relaxing done. Lisa, listen for a minute. I know what I've caused here. I know that I've allowed my grief to spill over and it's made things doubly hard on you. I needed something to wake me up. A shock, I guess. And the thought of losing you, of having you taken away from me, that was it.
I won't do that. I won't let them.
But I haven't handled any of this like I should. Honey, I promise that this is not going to continue. I should have never told you to leave.
I know, Dad. I'm home now. And I'll be there until you're completely better. But you have to promise me that if you feel yourself slipping, you're gonna say something. You're not doing this alone.
Thank you, sweetheart. I don't know how I got a kid like you.
Hey there.
Trey, what are you doing here?
Hello there.
I came by to bring you these. I never got a chance to catch up with you after any of the shows, and then Miss B told me about your dad. Hello, sir. I'm Trey Norton.
Pleased to meet you, Trey. Were you two in the play together?
Yes, Brigadoon. The musical. Lisa was very good.
Dad, can you give us just a second? I just need to talk to Trey for just... Look, I don't know what you're trying to pull, but this hot and cold thing, it's not cool. You barely spoke to me during the last 2 weeks of school.
I'm just trying to be nice. You did great in the show, and after Prudy told me what kind of stress you were under,
Oh, God, we're back to Prudy now.
It started to make sense to me. I get why you haven't wanted to talk about anything.
And I still don't. If I wanted you here, I would have asked you to come. How did you even know where I was?
Prudy brought me.
She brought you. Like in her car?
She said I owed you an apology, and I do.
I thought that she had more sense than this. Why does she keep leading you on, letting you think that this is going somewhere?
She's not leading me on. We have something serious, something real.
She's already married, Trey, and you are 18.
We're not getting married. We're making a plan, and then we're leaving together this weekend for good.
Trey, what are you doing? I mean, what is taking so long? You said you'd only be a minute.
I was just trying to tell her.
Please, I heard you. Can you wait in the car for a minute? I'll be right out.
But I thought...
Please, in the car.
Sure. Bye, Lisa.
Why did you bring him?
Lisa, I know this is not what you wanted, and you may be disappointed in me.
I'm just confused. I thought you were figuring things out with your husband.
Yes, but figuring things out for adults doesn't always mean that they're suddenly better. Or back to how they were. Look at your dad over there. Are you two figuring things out?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
But he's still gonna need medical attention, therapy, as are you. It's gonna take time, and even after that time has passed, you two will not be the same as you were.
That's so sad to think about.
Only if you think in terms of what's lost. But sometimes finding your way back to someone else involves gaining something along the way. I need you to do something for me. I've written 2 letters, one to the book club and one to Dean. Of course, I'll take care of the second one, but the first I'd like you to deliver at the next meeting. It's both an apology and a thank you to everyone for what they've done for me this year. I'd also like to ask a favor. And I know this is the second time I have left this in your hands, but you proved very capable then, and I believe you are even better equipped now. Would you do me the honor of leading the final book club meeting in my place?
Dad, this is Prudy Brophy. She's my French teacher. She assisted with the musical. I've been staying with her and her husband the last few months.
Young lady, I cannot thank you enough for what you've done for my daughter. You've been a role model to her when she needed one the most. A light in her life.
Thank you, Mr. Straight. I'm pleased to finally meet you. I'm sorry that I can't stay, but my ride is in the car. My ride is waiting in the car. He's in the car.
Well, thank you, and Trey, for stopping by, and for the flowers.
Of course.
Look, I know you and your mom weren't close, but you've been different since you got back from your trip.
I guess I just realized that I don't like pretending that I am content when I am not content. We aren't always granted second chances in life, but we both have one right now in front of us, and I'm trying to make the most of mine, and I hope that you do the same with your dad.
A while ago, you told me that sometimes when a loved one dies, that changes things, and sometimes those changes seem insurmountable. I haven't forgotten that, so I want to remind you that this second chance comes with a choice, and it's on you to make the smart one.
Quand êtes-vous devenu si adulte?
Kat, can you hear me?
Well, hello. This is a surprise.
Why?
Well, you never message me during daylight hours. Also, quick question. Does this eggplant look right to you?
I have no idea. I don't think I've ever eaten one.
I didn't ask how it tastes. I asked how it looks. Also, please tell me you're calling to apologize for not sending me the pictures we took at the pier. It's been weeks, Greg.
I'm sorry, I've been so busy. I will send them, I promise. But I've been meaning to update you on the situation with Jocelyn since your last visit.
Oh, yeah? You were going to take her to that gala the week after I left? How'd that work out?
It was pretty awful. We fought the whole way there, and I got really drunk at the party, and I just...
Really? I don't think I've ever seen you drunk before. I would have come back if I knew it was going to be that kind of party.
It wasn't supposed to be, and it really wasn't something anyone should have witnessed.
Oh. Are you okay?
Well, that's the thing. She came over a few nights ago for book club, and it seems like she's really starting to notice me a little bit. I'm not sure what I did differently. I've been taking everyone's advice.
Wait, who is everyone?
Well, Amelia suggested I try to be more bold and masculine, and Bianca said I should try being sneaky and more jealousy-inducing.
Of course.
And you don't seem surprised.
Not at all. Not by the advice or who gave it to you, or the fact that you took it without even considering. You don't have to change anything. You don't need to be more or less. You just need to be you.
Oh, come on. That's something that everyone says when they're feeling miserable about their circumstances. But don't we all know deep down that being us just means calming down and talking less about it until it goes away?
Maybe it does. But regardless, you've always been good at being a chameleon, being what other people want, but being yourself?
Oh, come on.
Seriously, why does that come so hard to you? Don't you think you're enough?
Honestly, I mean, I like who I am. I think that sometimes I get too excited. When I meet someone new, when I start a new project, and other people mistake that excitement for, I don't know.
An agenda?
Yes. They think, he can't really be that into me. He must want sex. Or, he can't seriously be that happy to see me all the time. He must be after my money. Or, Why does he want to talk to me so much? He must not have many other friends. Wow, he must be desperate. And the thing is, that is me. I am interested in people and their stories. I don't really want anything back from it besides to see them happy.
And that is why you're the best of us. But people can only see that when you're being genuine. So do yourself and Jocelyn a favor and do what makes you happy. Not what you're thinking will make everyone else happy. What would make you happy right now?
The beach.
The beach? Why the beach?
We've been reading about it in Persuasion. It's our last book, and then the book club is over, ending any chance I have to see Jocelyn again.
You don't think she'll continue to see you?
Not unless I make up for that disaster of a date.
So you're going to take a stand at the beach?
Look, you just said do what makes me happy.
I did.
I think it will help convince her. The sound of the tide, the sand between your toes, I can already hear it.
Bernadette, you're back!
Hello, everyone. How has everyone been? Hello.
I've been great. I finally graduated.
You did? I'm so sad I missed it. And this must be your lovely father. Hello, sir.
Such a pleasure to meet you, ma'am. I've heard so much about this book club, I thought I'd give it a try myself.
You better watch those two, Lisa. Bernie, don't get any ideas.
Stop it. I wouldn't dream of... Especially since I've already found my Mr. Darcy.
You're kidding!
Absolutely not. I was gonna wait until Jocelyn was here to tell you. She's gonna be so upset that she wasn't the first one to find him for me. I don't want to spoil it with premature articulation.
Jocelyn will be fine. Tell us, where did you find him?
Well, didn't actually. My friend Mo did. One day when we were out in the jungle, Mo and his wife decided we should stop at their friend's cacao plantation. Mo said,
I've been telling Miguel about you, and I think he'd really enjoy hearing some of your stories.
which of course I immediately countered with, do I tell a lot of stories? And he said, So my mind started racing. I wasn't expecting him to be more than right. I think at first Miguel was put off by our language barrier. We had a few miscommunications. On the first day, he had a big party waiting for us, and at dinner, he said,
Tienes un estilo de pelo increíble. Nunca he visto a alguien con un estilo tan interesante por acá. Es genial.
which I thought translated to,
Your hair is very strange given the occasion. I've never seen someone so dressed down at a party.
but I later came to realize it was more like,
Your hairstyle is quite unique. I have never met someone with such interesting taste around here.
Wait. The first day? How long did you stay?
we ended up being there for a week.
Whoa. Did you eat chocolate the whole time?
So, of course, I think he's a very rude man, and he thinks I'm ungrateful because I'm not spending any time with him. But one day, I was reading Persuasion in the garden, and he came to sit with me. He said,
Me parece increíble que lees libros tan complicados. Has intentado aprender inglés por mucho tiempo sin mejorar.
which I took to mean,
You try to appear so smart by reading very difficult books. It must be because your English is not very good.
duality meant,
It is amazing to me that you read such complicated things. I have been trying to learn English for a long time without success.
and thankfully Mo was there to say,
Maybe the two of you could teach each other to communicate in your native languages.
And that was a done deal. I started teaching Senora Banda English, and he started teaching me Spanish. And I have to say, I didn't think I would ever find a man who would encourage me to talk more.
That is such a beautiful story.
Where is he now?
Wrapping things up down south. I'll be here in a few weeks.
Well, I certainly understand how a chance meeting can change your life.
Don't ask me where that came from. It's the tip of the iceberg. I've been busy dealing with a whole other kind of crazy. Daniel has decided that he wants to come back into my life.
Oh, really? I can't say I'm surprised. You have an irresistible charm.
Oh, please.
Honey, that's wonderful, isn't it?
I haven't quite decided whether to forgive him yet or not.
Hey guys, sorry we're late. It was my fault this time.
You're kidding. Must have been a cataclysmic event.
Actually, we were arguing about whether Anne Elliot is really Austen's best heroine. I saw it in the foreword and I was a bit skeptical.
Oh, like Le Guin's heroines are any better?
I'm not saying that, but in comparison to Austen's other heroines, I mean, like Lizzie Bennet,
So it's only a comparison of Austen to Austen at this point.
Wait, just a minute. You started the discussion without us. How many more of your rules are you going to break today, Jocelyn?
Just one. Greg?
Yeah?
I've been learning quite a bit about myself the last few days, and it all started with you. And I think if I'm going to keep learning, I need to officially ask. Would you like to get dinner after this?
Like a date?
Yes, you dork, like a date.
Is kabuki sushi okay?
I don't think Anne Elliot would approve about how messy and out of control you're being today, but for the record, I love this new Auntie Jocelyn!
You're here!
I think we should get our stories straight before Prudy gets here, since she is leading the discussion.
Don't worry about that. I don't think she's actually coming. In fact, she gave me this to read to you. She didn't make it. I was hoping that she was going to change her mind, but...
Oh, the last thing I would ever want to be is a disappointment. Anyone who knows me could tell you that.
Well, hello! Hi, Dean. You two look amazing.
Thank you. It certainly has been quite a day, but we made it through. Everyone, this is my husband, Dean.
Hello.
Hey.
Let me start this off by saying thank you for the location suggestion and all the planning, Greg. Dean and I were pretty busy sorting out our house today. It wouldn't have been the best place for a meeting.
I can't imagine your house ever being a mess, Prudy.
You're too kind. But I haven't been home much lately. I had a lot going on at the school, and in fact, I was considering taking a trip this weekend just to clear my head. I had already packed, and I was about to take off from the school when I found a note in my car. A reminder about book club today.
Prudy, I know you've been busy lately. It feels like I haven't seen you since our trip to your mom's. I just wanted to do something special for you today. I packed this lunch for your meeting at the beach. Don't forget, you have to be there by noon. I'm off work tonight, and we'll see you when you get home in case there's some kind of book club meeting, morning period thing that you have to go to, whatever. All my love, Dean.
Oh, how sweet.
Well, of course, I was racked by indecision, so I thought it would be best to investigate before making any final decisions. I rushed right home, and Dean was on the couch. I thought at first that he was playing video games again, but...
I was reading.
Reading what?
My copy of Persuasion. He was sitting there in the sunlight with the book in his hand, and it was like I saw him all over again. It got my mind racing.
Honey, what is it?
I was trying to find the moment when Captain Wentworth and Anne stop fighting each other and finally find their way back to one another.
And did you find it?
I think I did.
I think it all starts when they all go to the beach in Lyme after Louisa Musgrove falls and gets hurt.
After Wentworth uses her to make Anne jealous.
You think Wentworth was using her? Like, I think the guy was just trying to feel something. It's a dick move, but, how can he help it?
Daniel, what are you doing here?
Well, I started reading this when Allegra was in the hospital. She had it by her bedside, and I just kind of picked it up. I saw it was about second chances, and I know I kind of need one of those right now.
I do not think you are alone in that.
Do you mind if I join you?
When I was driving to the hospital last week, I thought if Allegra was okay, I would be the happiest woman in the world. And she was. And I was. But this week, zinc is backed up, and there are roaches in the garage, and traffic on the highway, and I have no patience for any of it.
Well, the news and the newspapers don't help either.
Exactly. Already, I have to remind myself to be happy. But if it were the other way around, if Allegra hadn't been okay, I wouldn't have to remind myself to be unhappy. I'd be unhappy forever. Why should unhappiness be so much easier than joy?
One disappointment or disagreement can ruin your whole day.
One infidelity can wipe out years of faithfulness.
It takes 10 weeks to heal something that takes 10 seconds to break.
So, today, for these precious few moments, I say enough focusing on the negative. Yes, Daniel, you can stay. I think it's what Austen would do.
Well, if that's the case, then why did she remain unmarried her whole life? I mean, you don't think she wrote these books because she was lonely?
I've always been suspicious about that myself. I mean, the few ones that I have read always had that kind of air about them.
Absolutely not. She could have gotten married anytime that she wanted. In fact, she almost did.
His name was Harris Bigwither, and they were only engaged for one night.
Oh, Harris Bigwither. Why do you know that?
I have no idea.
I've only read Persuasion and seen the movie version of Pride and Prejudice. But I do like the way Austen lets her characters explain themselves if they've made a mistake. Darcy writes Elizabeth Bennet a letter in the movie, and in Persuasion, everything hangs on, what's his name?
Wentworth.
Leaving Anne that note while everyone is talking all around them.
Pretty sneaky.
Or pretty smart. Let us never underestimate the power of a well-written letter.
And on that note, I have something to show all of you. It's something Samantha and I came up with. We like to call it Ask Austen.
Okay. How does it work?
Care to do the honors?
Okay. Everyone, pull out your books and think of a question you've had or a decision you've been trying to make.
I like the sound of this.
Is this really going to work?
Shh. You have to concentrate. Close your eyes.
Okay, now what?
Flip through the pages and find a point in the book.
I think I know what comes next.
All right, so point to it and read aloud Austen's advice.
Should I go off to college?
Do I move on too quickly?
Is dating at my age a mistake?
Et j'enfin trouvé mon bonheur.
Can our next book club please be the books of Ursula Le Guin?
Are happy endings really forever?
Should I forgive him?
Well, Silvio, what does it say?
I'm really loose, maybe broken, but I'm strong. Take my hand, words unspoken, carry on. But what about me? What about me? What about me? I will carry